Hello, and welcome to our journey in the risk management life cycle from risk identification to what we call as risk analysis and risk assessment. So what is risk analysis? In any risk analysis, we need to identify the asset that the business is working with or the business is holding. That is important to know because then we will be able to answer protecting. So if we look at the flow, and risk analysis starts with business at its core, uh, which is having risk business, and our search that tips of the business. That is what you need to analyze. That how the risks are the business. Based on the analysis, you have to identify what risk and what control are in place to able to mitigate, reduce, and manage those risks. And the information is that fed to the business, so that if there has to be a realignment in the business needs and necessity, that it can be done. And risk analysis is of two kinds. One is qualitative in nature, and one is quantitative. Is one which how likely it is that something bad gonna happen if that, and quantitative on the other hand on the fact with assigned a dollar or a money in terms of more giving you output. uh, this is important to understand that threat aspects are very important because then you need to what threats are applicable to your business in terms of having assets, other kind of stuff that you manage. In terms of risk assessment, the risk assessments are also qualitative and quantitative, what you call as an uncertainty analysis. That you do is analysis of running a business is less than the actual value of your business, money on the risk because in the cost terminology. The risk, as we analysis control the risk there you can take in terms of risk mitigation, acceptance, or risk. Now, in most of the cases, is never acceptable unless or until you have a very fair and a concrete argument. Good. We measure a risk approach or either to mitigate or manage or to avoid that we have taken is good. We do so by asking certain questions. When we apply our approach, do we check whether do we need to improve on that to basically either change the approach from transference to mitigation or a risk acceptance? Do we need to implement entirely a new approach so to avoid taking certain risk measurement or applying certain risk measurement method like either mitigating or acceptance or avoiding it altogether? If you look at the procedural cycle for both risk analysis and risk assessment, the steps are not very different. It's just the basis of how the analysis is done what are the core points that you keep in consideration, and in terms of what we keep at core in the assessment is bit different. However, for a much broader sense, for all applicability means and purposes, risk assessment and risk analysis go hand in hand and they are tied together. I'll stop here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.